Hello, my name is John Birch, and I am the author and webmaster at LoveShift, www.loveshift.com. And I'd like to make a video this evening about Worldview. So here's the website, LoveShift, and here is the page, Worldview. And right below this image of the Earth taken from the moon, this video that I'm making right now will appear. And the idea is that at the center of the process of cultural evolution is something that we're going to call worldview. Worldview is going to be defined as the sum total of our beliefs, values, assumptions, and ideas. It's a fundamental way that we look at the world, and similar to an iceberg, this is the stuff that is really hidden below the surface. It is fundamental to how we behave and think, but it's mostly unconscious. So we're going to propose a worldview as very important, but ultimately we're going to have to bring it to consciousness. So let's look at how the evolution of culture works. So that's worldview. Out of worldview comes our thinking. And the thinking is the stuff that we are more aware of. It's mostly conscious, but it is derived from worldview. And out of thinking, we get our actions. And those actions are the things that we do in life based on thinking, which is based on worldview. So it works like this. And then from the actions, we get outcomes. Now, these outcomes are the consequences of what we do or don't do, and these are the effects that we have on our environment, on each other, and on our own individual lives. Okay? Final step in this process is the culture. Culture, everyone has their own culture. Every family has a culture. Societies, countries, businesses have cultures. Cultures are an accumulation of the actions and the beliefs and the thinking that actually begin to enculturate and constrain our behavior. And in fact, they have associated outcomes which can be more global. So as we look at the evolution of culture, we see that there's a process that goes on through worldview, thinking, actions, outcomes. And then up here is this stuff that even if you and I weren't around, it would continue on. It would endure. And that's sort of the idea behind this, which is what we want to really talk about. Okay, so let's look at what would happen if our worldview were to be founded in the idea that everything is disconnected. And to describe that, we're just going to say worldview is that everything is separate. Everything is independent of anything else. There is no integration. The system is not whole. All right? If that's the worldview, then we get thinking that derives from that. And one of the things that comes out of that is this little statement right here: nothing matters, or I don't matter. If everything is separate and disconnected, then really what does matter? What is the meaning of life, and what effect do I have? And out of that type of thinking come these actions. There's many, many, many more, but to just be simple, we'll say that people are able to be irresponsible and selfish. Maybe hostility is in there too, but let's leave it simple. And out of that, we get all kinds of outcomes, many of which are not good, and such as war, resource depletion, overconsumption. And out of that, we wind up with a culture that I'm going to simply describe as being the me generation: me, mine, and more. Me, mine, more is a way of saying if everything is disconnected and nothing matters, I can be irresponsible and take what I want. And that's really where we are in many, many aspects in our societies, in our families, and globally. Now, what would happen if the worldview were changed? And actually, if we could see and actually understand that, in fact, rather than the universe being a disconnected set of parts, that actually the worldview would change to say that all is one. All is one is a shorthand blueprint for survival. All is one is the key to this moment in time. And all is one says that this single multiform emerging energy event called the universe that we're all birthed into, which we are all subject to, and which we are all woven into, is one integrated whole. From that worldview, from that perspective, from those ideas and beliefs and assumptions come a different set of thoughts. And the thinking from all is one, from that worldview, is that everything does matter, and also that I matter. I have an effect. And from that, we get a different type of action set, and it is described as being responsibility and taking creative initiative. And from that, we get a set of outcomes, which would be simply described as things opposite of war, peace, sustainability, preservation of Earth's resources, and then a thing that we would hopefully see become real, and that is global community, which would be an array of humans across the earth that actually have shifted their thinking to engage their worldview with the way the universe is constructed, to become congruent with that. And that global community would then, of course, begin to emerge a culture where love is the prevailing human function. So if this makes any sense, I would recommend that you visit the website loveshift.com and explore. And if you find there's content there that you are able to support, that engages your interest, that you feel is real and worthwhile, take the 30-day challenge that is on the website, or at least explore and invite some of your friends to go there and help us spread the word that there is a shift in thinking going on, and that shift in thinking, if we really want it to be successful, should be oriented to a worldview, specifically that everything is interconnected rather than separate. Thank you.